crazy broadcast week here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. We have got a jam-packed one for you. The eclipse, of course, President Biden in Madison this afternoon. And I'm calling it right now, quite possibly the greatest unhinged liberal of the day rant in at least several years, possibly ever, from a famous Hollywood actress. If you would like to join our foray into broadcast excellence, or at the very least, and far more likely, broadcast competence, the adventknows.com talk and text line is open. 414-799-1130, 1-800-838-9476. Email me, dod@iheartmedia.com. You can watch our show streaming live right now on all social media platforms, X at Dan O'Donnell Show, Facebook at Dan O'Donnell Show, and just search Dan O'Donnell or Dan O'Donnell Show on YouTube to watch the show via the Dano Cam. So we are back at it after a wonderful weekend. President Biden is in Madison this afternoon. He is going to announce another round of bribes for another round of student loan debt forgiveness, which is totally unconstitutional. Still, but don't believe me, just listen to Nancy Pelosi.
The United States has the power for debt forgiveness. He does not. He can postpone, he can delay, but he does not have that power. That has to be an act of Congress.
Yeah, it does. But according to President Biden, he did get an act of Congress. Remember, in 2022, he recalled specifically, he absolutely, positively remembered getting his student loan debt forgiveness plan passed through Congress by just a handful of votes. It was a tough battle, but President Biden and his fellow Democrats won it. He remembers this distinctly.
What we've provided for is, if you went to school, if you qualify for a Pell Grant, you qualify for you qualify for $20,000 in debt forgiveness. Secondly, if you don't have one of those loans, you just get $10,000 written off. It's passed. I got it passed by a vote or two, and it's in effect.
I don't think I need to tell you that there was no such bill that got passed. In fact, this never actually happened. He just kind of did it by executive fiat, and wouldn't you know, about a year later, June of 2023, the United States Supreme Court, in a 6-3 ruling, ruled that he couldn't do it. Still, the president has forgiven about $150 billion in student loan debt, affecting approximately 4 million borrowers. Now, this also led to President Biden very famously saying, well, it takes a long time. Well, this was actually from rent forgiveness, but the same basic concept. He said, well, it takes a long time for these things to go through the courts, when he had a lower court decision telling him, no, absolutely, you cannot have an eviction moratorium. You can't have the federal government interfering with private contract. And more importantly, the president does not have the power of the purse. This is a deep constitutional issue. He said, well, it takes a long time for these things to be appealed, and while they're going through the court system, that's a whole lot more that we can do. The president has been openly and blatantly violating the Constitution even before the Supreme Court, more than a year ago, said you absolutely can't do this. In one student loan case, there was a unanimous decision that determined that a number of the people who sued because they didn't qualify for the maximum relief available, they lacked standing. Okay, but in another majority decision written by Chief Justice Roberts, the court determined that at least one plaintiff, the state of Missouri, did have standing. Essentially, the Biden program would cost a nonprofit student loan corporation created by Missouri $44 million in fees. And since it was created by the state, is supervised by the state, and serves a public function, there is or was standing to sue. The Roberts decision actually cited Nancy Pelosi's quote. Believe it or not, this might have been the one time in her career Nancy Pelosi got the Constitution right.
People think that the President of the United States has the power for debt forgiveness. He does not. He can postpone, he can delay, but he does not have that power. That has to be an act of Congress.
Congress made no such act, but the Biden administration tried to pretend that the HEROES Act of 2003, which was passed in the wake of the 9/11 terror attacks to help student borrowers who were serving in the military, applied not just to military members, but to everyone. That act, which is literally called the HEROES Act. I'm not sure about you folks, but I don't know too many art history heroes who signed up to go to Afghanistan post 9/11. Now, there might be a couple, but I'm just taking a wild guess that your average queer studies major was not going to join a platoon somewhere in the middle of the Kandahar province. But the Biden administration argued that this gave broad authority to the president to wipe away debt during all national emergencies. And guess what national emergency he used to give the government broad authority to do whatever it was that the government wanted to do? You'd better believe it. COVID-19. And this gets to an even deeper truth than this when it comes to constitutional law. It's pretty obvious what Biden is doing. It's been obvious since he started doing it. All of this and the fact that this is going on at Madison, on the UW-Madison campus, in quite possibly the most critical swing state of the upcoming 2024 presidential election, in the city, the exact city that Democrats need to have near record turnout every single time to win statewide elections, Biden is doing this to quite literally buy votes. I mean, that's pretty obvious, right? But the far deeper truth about this is that we're still dealing with the ramifications of how our relationship with government so dramatically changed with the COVID-19 emergency. The fact that government was able to just sort of declare a public health emergency, and then in the most egregious example of an abuse of this authority, you had the state of Wisconsin under Governor Evers allowing each emergency declaration to lapse, and then he would declare a new emergency every 90 days just so he could keep a mask mandate in effect. Now, you might say, well, Dan, this is good public policy. I know not a whole lot of people in my audience thought the masks were good public policy, but think about this from a liberal perspective. Think about this from a left-wing perspective. We want student loan debt, right? We want student loan debt forgiveness passed. We don't want kids to start their life with a whole bunch of debt, correct? Correct. We want people to wear masks. We understand. We know that masks save lives. So should the government not be empowered to just wave its magic wand and in times of emergency say, look, people are struggling. People are hurting. We need to help the people. We need to do things that nobody could argue against, right? Isn't that a popular liberal refrain? There can be no more discussion. There can be no more debate. Liberals truly believe that on some issues, the issues that they care most about, there is no other side, that their belief just is the only acceptable course of action. But imagine if government, under the guise of an emergency, which Governor Evers plainly admitted didn't actually exist, is doing things that aren't quite so popular. What we also saw during the COVID-19 emergency was that the government was taking that opportunity to violate our most basic constitutional rights, the right to free association, the right to associate with whomever we wanted. Do you remember that in Wisconsin, it was actually punishable by jail time if you were to go to a home of somebody that you didn't live with? I always use for the example that was most pertinent to me was my house sits in the middle of a park. There's a park in between my house and my in-laws' house. And during COVID-19, the kids would always, when they get done with virtual school, and they'd want to bike over to Grammy and Grampy's. Do you realize that Grammy and Grampy could have been arrested and thrown in jail for having their grandchildren? That is the most grotesque violation of the association right that is enshrined in the First Amendment. How about the right to freely worship? Churches were shut down in the name of public health. That's grotesquely unconstitutional. Just as it's unconstitutional for what's known as the imperial presidency to just usurp the proper role of the Congress. Even if it's widely agreed upon, yes, we should have masks, yes, we should have student loan debt forgiveness, there are proper constitutional channels to protect us, to protect our rights. There's a reason, and this was enshrined in the Constitution. The whole form of our government is predicated around the idea that it's kind of difficult to do pretty much anything. That's what federalism sort of ensures, that states have autonomy, that the ultimate power rests not with Joe Biden, not with the federal government writ large, not even with the state government, but with us, with the people. When the president usurps the power of the purse and spends the public dollar, the people's treasure, on items that are never passed, never approved by the people's representatives, that's about as severe a violation of the Constitution as it gets, especially after the Supreme Court says, no, you can't do this, President. And the president simply says, okay, well, we'll get around that and we'll find different ways to do it. That's exactly what Biden has done for pretty much the last year. He's tried to find loopholes in the law that would allow him to disperse this money free from any actual approval by Congress. I feel sometimes as though I'm the only one who recognizes just how egregious this violation is. What Biden is doing and what he has been doing for the better part of 2 years, 2.5 years now, even after even his most loyal allies in his party tell him, no, this is unconstitutional. This does rise to the level of an impeachable offense. While we're so focused on the shady Biden business dealings, and the House Oversight Committee has done a great job investigating those, I mean, this is unconstitutional behavior by the president that does indeed rise to the level of impeachable offense. When you deliberately violate the Constitution, even after going before the Supreme Court and saying, this is our best argument, Supreme Court rejects it, and you say, okay, well, here's, forget about them. This is also why, incidentally, Democrats in the Biden administration have been remarkably open about if Biden wins a second term this November, and if Democrats hold the Senate and take the House, and I think that's entirely likely, they're going to pack the Supreme Court. They're going to move from 9 justices to 13, and guess what? Joe Biden, who's only had one appointment, a justice who somehow doesn't know the definition of a woman, he'll get 4 additional ones. That'll swing the balance of power in the court instantly. And it won't matter. Whatever he'll want to do will be deemed constitutional. You are listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show, conservative thought, not just talk.
It was a doozy, all right. Apparently, things got a little out of hand, as evidenced by the job description.
Repair heel marks on conference table.
You get the picture. Office party, a few too many drinks, and a gal who felt compelled to use the top of the conference table as a dance floor. And as you expected, we showed up on site and made that tabletop as good as new. By golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com. Well, if you haven't heard me bragging by now, we're darn good. Actually, my dad has no qualms about saying we're the best. And if you're skeptical, I understand. But all you have to do is go to MullallyFinishing.com to learn why we're great at what we do and see lots of before and after photos that show off our impressive work. So if you're looking for a name you can trust, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com.
Ask your advisor, are you 100% fee only for 100% of your clients 100% of the time? If they answer no, get a second opinion.
Financial strategies, what's the way to build your wealth?
FinancialStrategiesInc.com.
Picture taking your first steps into your brand new home. What do you see? Whether it's cooking meals in your 5-star kitchen or practicing downward dog in your sunroom, Belinsky Homes can handle it all. At Belinsky Homes, we know each lifestyle calls for unique home essentials. That's why we've been designing distinct and deliberate floor plans for over 60 years. Considering every last inch of space, we build new homes ready to adapt to your life's needs. Visit Belinsky.com today to find your right fit. Belinsky Homes, built for life.
Hey guys, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than what we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back, but what you can do is stop your losses today. How? By diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with a proven history. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. I trust Birch Gold. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax advantaged status. So text PROTECT to 989898. That's PROTECT to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
Message and data rates may apply.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Opinion, emotion, passion. This is News Talk 1130 WISN.
Once upon a time there was light in my life, but now there's only love in the dark. Nothing I can say, a total eclipse of the heart.
That's right, eclipse-themed bumper music to celebrate the first total solar eclipse that will pass through the United States of America in its path of totality. In 7 years, this will be the last one for about 2 decades that will go through the United States, where the path of totality will be through the United States. Welcome back to the Dan O'Donnell Show. How many people from Wisconsin do you think are actually going to the path of totality? Interesting note. My producer, Dave, who's back from a week-long vacation today, actually played bass in a metal band called Path of Totality back in the 90s. Nobody knew this. He had the long hair, beard down to his chest. He looked good. He looked the part. How many Wisconsinites do you think are actually going someplace for the path of totality? Because to watch local television over the past couple of days, you would think we were going to have a great migration to somewhere in western Ohio. Millions of people from this state. You know what this is a great example of? In local news, there's actually a word for it, and people in local news are actually very cognizant of it. It's called the DLA, the dreaded local angle. And what that is whatever the story is, no matter how far away, you have to somehow tie it to people here locally. You have to somehow, for example, when the Hamas terror attack of almost exactly 6 months ago happened, They went to local synagogues. Okay, that's fine. Like, how are you? And then they went to the Islamic Society of Milwaukee, whose leader, who is a doctor, I believe, in the Freighter system. I forget who it is now. He was doing long dissertations about how Israel has zero right to exist. Incidentally, coming up a little bit later, we will get into Israel's sudden and rather shocking decision to withdraw from at least a portion of Gaza. I'll explain what I think is actually going on there. And then, do you remember the Wall Street Journal article of about a month, maybe a month and a half ago? Dearborn, the jihad capital of the United States, liberals went absolutely ballistic. It was a Wall Street Journal piece. Would you believe that in Dearborn, Michigan, there was actually a jihad rally to mark the end of Ramadan in which they said, death to America, death to Israel. America is the most rotten place ever created. Israel, death to Israel is the only chant that makes logical sense. They even brought a couple of indoctrinated kids up there to chant from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. So, first text I happened to see. I didn't open up our text app during my opening monologue about the unconstitutionality of what Biden is doing. First text I get. Where were you when all this was going on? There was only a handful of sheriffs and chiefs of police in the state that would not enforce these orders because they knew it violated citizens' constitutional rights. Where were you when that was going on? Producer Dave, do you remember what our shows sounded like in the early days of COVID, talking about the lockdown? It was pretty much me screaming about how unconstitutional this all was. I had to respond to this one because I'm like, I know it's been 4 years. And a part of me, I said, are you kidding me right now? Like, are you seriously kidding me? I was railing against this every single day I was on the air. I was the only radio host in the state explaining in great depth how unconstitutional the lockdown was. I get it. It's been 4 years. But this new genre of complaint that we see, well, where were you? What did you do to fight that? What do you want me to do? Get in the streets with an Uzi screaming Wolverines like this is Red Dawn? I use my platform every single day to try to, just like I am now, say, look, the most dangerous thing that we can have in this country isn't some imagined threat, the fever dreams of liberals that Trump is going to somehow become Hitler. We are seeing a slouch. Remember, who was it? Bork famously wrote the book Slouching Toward Gomorrah. We are slouching towards tyranny as we speak. We've got the DOJ weaponized against political enemies. We have got people who, many of whom were guilty only of the minor crime of trespassing, locked in federal gulags. What else do we have? We have a Soviet-style attempt to just delegitimize, to criminalize political opposition, not even have them on the ballot, i.e. Maine, Colorado. A Chicago judge tried to do this as well to Donald Trump. I mean, we've already got, by the way, you have got to listen to the Unhinged Liberal of the Day. I'm telling you, this is an all-timer of a rant. That's coming up in about a half hour. So all of this is largely unconstitutional. President Biden, what he's doing, this isn't debt forgiveness. This is essentially debt transfer. He's transferring the debts of approximately 4 million over the next decade, 4 million borrowers. I'm going to take a wild guess. How many of these borrowers who are having their debt forgiven are in gender studies? I'm going to go at least 2.5 of the 4 million. I'm going to say there is no more represented major than gender studies. The cost of servicing America's debt is very soon, potentially within the next couple of months, going to eclipse the amount we spend on defense. Think about that for a second. Not only is it constitutionally dubious, to say the least, this is also a transfer of wealth, oftentimes on people who are better off. Think about the kid who's going to college. I know a lot of kids now, far more than in generations past, are going to college, not nearly as many as I think in the peak 1990s, early 2000s, when everybody was going, it's just go to college, go to college, go to college. But you're transferring the debt from people who are blue collar, who went into the trades, who didn't go to college, and their families, to the people who are better off and are, in most cases, able to pay for or finance college on their own. The idea that this is somehow a political winner is actually kind of shocking to me. But this sort of reveals just how desperate Biden is to recapture the young vote that he's lost. Much more on this. We'll also take your phone calls, take your texts as well. 414-799-1130. The Dan O'Donnell Show. We'll be right back. Hey, Dan O'Donnell here for the Lynch family of dealerships. I've been a big proponent of Lynch for a while now. Here's why. They're literally a family dealership and have been since 1957. That's increasingly rare in the dealership world today, but the Lynch family employs 500 plus people who are all dedicated to taking care of you. They've got a wide selection of new and used vehicles, extended service department hours for early drop-offs and late pickups, and most importantly, they're proud supporters of our local communities and schools. They also stand behind what they sell with Lynch certified used vehicles, including a 168-point inspection to determine eligibility, an unparalleled 90-day or 3,000-mile certified guarantee, and a 10-day 500-mile exchange policy. And when you pair this with the Lynch Protected program, they cover your paint, your windshield, and your tires, it's easy to see why you should consider Lynch. Check them out today at shoplynch.com.
I'm Brett Ochtenhagen, owner of Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services, and I'm so proud to be a father, a husband, an entrepreneur, a Christian, and an American. My wife Amy and I did our best to educate our children about our reasons for embracing traditional values. Recently, Amy and I became empty nesters, and now our young adults are in the real world with the American dream in their heads, their hearts, and soon it will be in their hands to share with others. God is good. Marriage and children are a blessing. Capitalism works, and America is grand. She is rich with beautiful places to explore. She's a melting pot of beautiful people. Diverse? Yes. But we are still blessed to have so much in common. Ignore the politicians and the media who sow seeds of hate. Let's embrace the wonders of life, liberty, freedom, and the pursuit of happiness in America. Join me in discovering the wonders of nature and the wonders of America.
Don't let the stress of buying a new car outweigh the excitement. With Car Gurus, you can buy or sell a car exactly how you want. That's why millions of people use Car Gurus. Do all the upfront work online and search their massive selection by budget, make, model, and features. Compare prices to know you got the best deal, then head in for a test drive. Take charge of your buying or selling experience today and get it with Car Gurus at CarGurus.com. That's CarGurus.com.
Attend Biz Expo May 22nd at Brookfield Conference Center. Learn how to build a legendary brand by creating raving fans from keynote speaker and author Scott Wozniak. Attend strategy seminars on company culture, business growth, AI and cybersecurity, leadership, exit planning, tax savings for business, and more. Network and connect with your peers and the region's leading product and service providers. Biz Expo is Wednesday, May 22nd. Register to attend at biztimes.com/bizexpo.
I have problems with my roof and I need to replace it. Or I have problems with my roof and the last thing in the world I want to do is replace it. Hi, Colleen here from Tri-County Contracting. We can help. If you really do need to get a new roof, we can completely tear off your old roof and install a new one. Most roofs can be done in 1 to 2 days. With this new roof comes a lifetime product warranty, a lifetime workmanship warranty, and our exclusive yearly roof inspection program. Any questions or issues down the line, we've got you covered. And with more than 45 years in business, you know we'll be there for you. Now, if you fall in the I don't want to have to get a new roof right now category, we can still help. You need our worry-free roof tune-up. For one flat fee of $650, we will fix the problem areas on your roof. Visit our website, tricountycontractingwi.com, for details and request a free estimate today. Worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting.
At Weedman Lawn Care, the term care in our name is more than part of our title. It's the heart of our company culture. If we don't care and support our team members, how can we expect them to care for you and your lawn? As evidenced by Weedman's 5-star reviews online, we consistently show our sincere care for our customers' needs. And we absolutely care for the communities we serve by donating to local schools, baseball fields, food banks, and the Ronald McDonald House. Go to weedman.com now. Our caring culture will give your family the lawn it deserves.
And Doug. To celebrate everyone who's customized and saved hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, we got a savings siren that goes off every time someone saves. There it is! It's a really more savings, which really... Okay, a lot of savings. Little annoying now. Will you stop saving for 5 seconds?
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Savings may vary, underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
You know, today, $20 barely gets you a burger and fries, and maybe it'll get you a quarter tank of gas. But you know what it'll get you, though? For just $20 a month, you get unlimited talk and text and plenty of 5G data from my friends, my cell phone company, a veteran-owned company, Pure Talk. Make the switch today, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Now, choose a wireless company that shares your values. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword save now, make the switch today. Pound 250, keyword save now from Pure Talk.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like Lost 80s, playing those songs you forgot you knew from the 80s.
Gotta get back in time. This is a lonely child. You better be good.
Duran Duran, Huey Lewis, Tina Turner, and more, all commercial-free. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search Lost 80s, and listen now. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
I know it's up for me. If you still listen, making sure I'm not in too deep. If you still listen, keep bursting on my feet. If you still listen,
2:07 p.m., give or take, is the path of near totality in the Milwaukee area. Same deal for Madison, right around there. We are not going to get a total solar eclipse. It's something like, according to USA Today's eclipse calculator, we're going to get about 94% of an eclipse. You have to be in what's known as the path of totality. If you have been watching television at all over the past month, I have no doubt that you know exactly where the path of totality is. This is just the second total eclipse that will make its way through America, that will be totally visible in America since 2017. One of my all-time favorite pictures of Trump. This is not even close. It was August of 2017. He's there with his family on the steps of the White House, and they're all looking up with their glasses. Trump, no glasses whatsoever. He looks up at the sun, points to it. That's my president. He ain't afraid of no sun. You think the sun can blind America? By God, you're mistaken. It's hilarious. He's like squinting and pointing up. Just absolute hilarious. Because you know, everybody wants to. Everybody is going to be tempted. All right, you can't start. Everybody is going to take a quick peek without the stupid blinding glasses on. I want to say thank you to a great friend of this show, real estate agent Perry, for dropping off a whole ton of Eclipse viewers, which I will be using this afternoon. Yeah, I'm going to be up. I'm going to climb the tower of our radio station so I can get as close to the sun as humanly possible. Is it a little nuts to go to the path of totality? Dave says yes. Yep, it's wall-to-wall coverage. Dave said he was there last week on his Easter vacation with his family. The Airbnbs are going for 5 times what they would normally go, because these are small little areas, so there are barely any hotels, and people are just renting their houses out for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a night. And you almost need to. A lot of people I know drove. I saw a video from a plane where the pilot asks, so by a show of hands, how many people are... That's how all pilots talk, by the way. There is a law. They don't just say all the time. They always let the just go on. You'll be like, we're approaching our cruising altitude, and we'll have you into Cleveland by about 4:45, where the weather is cloudy. So there was a show of hands. How many people were going wherever it was, like Fayetteville or somewhere? I don't even remember. How many people are going to see the eclipse? A jam-packed plane. Every single hand on that flight was raised. Now, I am as big a fan of space, of atmospheric stuff as anybody. And I will say, if I didn't have a whole lot going on with some real estate stuff that's going on right now in my life, and also 2 radio shows, if, for example, the eclipse was last week when I didn't have to do the Belling show, I would totally be tempted to do it, because next time it happens, I'm going to be like 63 years old. Although it might be a fun trip with the grandkids to do when I'm 63. And theoretically, if you're that big of an eclipse nut, you can go to Brazil for the next one or wherever it's going to be. But it is cool. I mean, I think I'm going to be outside for a good amount of time, just kind of hanging out with my little glasses watching it. I think it's fun. It's a beautiful day out. It's the, gorgeous day. And yeah, why not? I don't know. So we have 1 vote for crazy. I think kind of cool. Should we put it to the audience? Well, yes, obviously, if we were in no, but I'm saying, is the concept of travel... Dave says, yeah, if we were in the line, the path of totality, going out to a field and watching the eclipse, I am told by people who know such things that this is one of the coolest things you can experience. Remember in 2017 here in Milwaukee, it was sort of cloudy. You couldn't really see a whole lot. Today, I'm not seeing much cloud cover at all. So I'm thinking we are going to be able to see this thing. Yeah, you're gonna see it, I guess, in the path of totality, and probably here too. You feel it, like the hairs on your arms and the back of your neck stand up. The animals start going crazy because they can sense something weird is happening. The darkness just sets in. It gets cool. I don't know. I think it's cool. From the 70s? No, I thought the last... It was called the Great American Eclipse. Maybe that wasn't a total one. No, I think the 2017 one, yes, it was. CBS News. 2017 eclipse was the first visible in U.S. skies since the 1970s. So... that was, its path of totality spanned from Salem, Oregon to Charleston, South Carolina, making it the first eclipse in 99 years visible across the country. So that one was a far greater path of totality across the country than this one. This one is sort of confined from the southeast all the way up to the northeast. So it's not the Great American Eclipse. And I feel like this one isn't quite it. Do you remember how hyped the 2017? Oh my gosh, Well, it was because it was summer, right? So more people were taking road trips and having fun going to see the eclipse. I don't know. It's fun. To me, anytime something happens that's unique, that's not something you're going to be able to see. So I say, all right, how about this? Let's put it. Would you take a day off work, pull the kids out of school, if you could, to go to the path of totality? Or is it crazy? Dave says no. I say I'm going to go yes. We'll take your texts, 414-799-1130. That's the AdventKnows.com talk and text line. You can also text 1-800-838-9476. We have been talking about student loan debt. And let's go out to the phones to Heartland. Let's talk with Greg. Greg, you're on the Dan O'Donnell Show. Welcome to it.
Hi, Dan. Love your show. If what you say is true, that this debt forgiveness of the students rises to the level of impeachment, which I agree with you, why hasn't a single member of the GOP ever brought forth accusations of impeachment or papers of impeachment? Not a single member of the GOP responds to it. They just let him do it.
Well, because the strategy has been, have you forgotten about the impeachment hearings on the Biden crimes? There was a political calculation, I think, made, Greg, that student loan debt forgiveness went before the Supreme Court and Biden got smacked down. It was only a relatively recent thing, I think February. They said, okay, we're giving it the old, no pun intended, college try again, and we're just sort of doing it. There's already an impeachment hearing going on with respect to the Biden family crimes. And as impeachment, remember, impeachment is not a legal mechanism. It is a political mechanism to remove someone, a president or a cabinet officer, from office. So while I totally get where you're coming from, like, hey, dude, a president is acting in a way that is totally, we do have guardrails in the form of a Supreme Court in order to stop that unconstitutional behavior. It's when what the president is doing now, and I'll be honest with you, there are probably a whole lot of lawyers in Republican states that are right now, as we speak, gearing up another lawsuit on that. But what I can tell you from the Republican Party's perspective is that what is far more significant, an affront to constitutional order, I would argue, is the vice presidency, official Obama administration foreign policy being for sale to the highest bidder, which it rather obviously was in Ukraine and elsewhere around the world. All right. I'm telling you, folks, I actually thought about leading with the unhinged liberal of the day. That is how great this Trump rant is. You are listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show, the Unhinged Liberal. Coming up next.
Classical conservatism, contemporary style. Dan O'Donnell will be right back.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Traffic jams, tailgating, pile-ups. Ugh, the joys of driving. How could it get worse? The federal government wants to have a say in what you drive. That's right. The Biden administration's EPA is pushing mandates that would ban 2 out of every 3 vehicles on the road today. Don't let Washington become your backseat driver. Protect the freedom of driving your way. Visit EnergyCitizens.org. Paid for by the American Petroleum Institute.
I'm Flawless Flooring's Dave Brownsdorf. Flawless Flooring has upgraded the ultimate home upgrade experience with single point of contact customer experience and our second 5,000 square foot Lake Country Flooring Gallery at Highway 83 and 994. Flawless Flooring's luxury vinyl plank can be installed throughout your whole home over old, worn, tired hardwood flooring, even over dated ceramic bath tile or any old kitchen floor surface. With zero demolition or after Flawless's employee-only artisans dispose of dog and cat stink stained carpet. Visit either Flawless Flooring Idea Gallery, meet your single point of contact, choose from literally countless flooring options on display, and we'll eliminate stains and stink by throwing the carpeting in a dumpster right before Flawless Flooring's employee-only installers beautify your everyday going forward. Flawless's 15-month, 0% financing means you can lock in the value of today's dollar for dollars you'll earn next year, then love home more every day in between. Sensory Underload, Flawless Flooring, New Berlin, Delafield, FlawlessFlooringLLC.com.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank, and as a community bank, we sincerely appreciate our customer loyalty. Over nearly 90 years, we've done all we can to return the favor. Great Midwest Bank offers flexible solutions that bigger banks and credit unions simply can't, because our entire team is right here in the community. We love helping our neighbors when we're at work and then catching up over the weekend. Visit us at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
April is here. Time to call Window Nation. Right now, buy 2 windows and get 2 free. Plus, save even more with no interest or payments for 24 months. Don't miss out. Call 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com to schedule your free in-home estimate.
I have a personal story of satisfaction to relay about engine and transmission exchange. One of my vehicles recently hit 75,000 miles, and I didn't know how legit the recommendations were on fluid and filter changes. So I texted Vince at ETE, and he gave me a list of 2 or 3 things I should do. And as I dropped my car off at the Waukesha location, I said, while you're at it, please look at the brakes, and if they need replacing, just go ahead and do them. Do you have a mechanic that you trust enough to say, if you think I need it, just do it? Give me a larger repair bill? That's how much I trust Vince and his staff at Engine and Transmission Exchange. And no, I didn't need new brakes. Over and over again over the years, this has been the experience of WISN listeners with ETE. The personal integrity that comes with this company and the people who work for it really does stand out. Engine and Transmission Exchange employs an established, experienced group of people who can service any vehicle, any make, any model. They'll accurately diagnose your problem and will always work with you to save money while doing the repair right. See EngineTrans.com for details. EngineTrans.com, Engine and Transmission Exchange.
A good neighbor would give you a cup of sugar if you asked. At Truestone Financial, we don't have any sugar, but we do have something even sweeter. Open and use a Truestone checking account and we'll give you up to $150 cash back. It's not exactly what the recipe called for, but $150 can buy you a lot of cookies. It's true, because we're Truestone. Learn more and sign up at truestone.org. Offer subject to terms and conditions. Recipient responsible for applicable taxes. Membership required. The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you right now, like Lost 80s. Just search Lost 80s and listen now on your free iHeartRadio app. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
Fraudulent tax returns due to identity theft increased by 30% in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Their U.S.-based restoration specialists are dedicated to helping solve identity theft issues, and all plans are backed by the $1 million protection package, which means if you lose money because of identity theft, LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan. Help protect your information with LifeLock. Go to LifeLock.com and save up to 25% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code.
Black hole sun, won't you come wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come?
To everybody texting in, emailing me, did you really think I wasn't going to play Black Hole Sun? We got no fewer than 10 requests for Soundgarden's classic bop. Welcome back to the Dan O'Donnell Show. All eclipse or solar-themed bumper music. We have asked our listeners to vote on whether it's crazy to go to the path of totality to check out the eclipse. I say no. Dave says yes. Right now, the voting is very close. I would say yes is leading, but only slightly. Text in your answer at VetNose.com talk and text line 414-799-1130. I'll tell you what is absolutely crazy. Quite possibly the best unhinged liberal of the day of the entire year.
Does that make me crazy?
Trump is Hitler.
We are in pre-Nazi Germany.
Does that make me crazy?
All white people are racist.
Does that make me crazy?
Trump is dangerous because he's evil.
Possibly. America is in over.
Today's unhinged liberal of the day is Jennifer Lewis. She is an actress, perhaps most famous for her role on the ABC series Blackish. She was just on a podcast and, well, went on quite possibly the single best unhinged Trump rant that I have heard in quite some time.
As soon as he takes the oath, he will have generals walk down the steps of the Capitol. He will take a hammer and break the glass where the Constitution is, and he will tear it up in our faces. And say, now, I'm the king of the fucking world. You will bow down, bitches. He will punish everybody that didn't vote for him. Let me tell y'all how I know this shit. I know it because I know what mental illness looks like.
That's ironic.
That mania is unstoppable. See, this motherfucker's Hitler. He didn't come to play.
All those pauses are like, this woman makes Belling sound like he's speed talking. Those pauses were pregnant with quadruplets. And then, I know what mental illness looks like. And then she just goes right back down. You know how I know. Because I know what mental illness. She sounded like Dave Chappelle when she was screaming. That was hysterical. Jennifer Lewis, you'd better believe I'm playing that just for my own entertainment before the end of this show. Jennifer Lewis, your unhinged liberal of the day. Right now, it is time to know the difference between financial advisors. We bring in Dave Spano, the president and CEO of Annex Wealth Management, who always has the unenviable task of having to follow some of the funniest, crazy people of the entire world. Dave,
yes.
How you doing, sir?
Well, I know what mental illness looks like as well, so that is for sure. I have to follow that craziness.
No. You got to scream it, Dave. You have to scream at the top of your lungs.
No, that's for you. That's for you. Go ahead. One more time, DOD.
I know what mental illness looks like. It sounds like she should have the straight jacket on while two dudes in all white clothing are like taking her to the back of a truck as she's, you can't do this. Trump's the real crazy one. All right. We have to somehow transition to inflation.
I don't think we can.
That.
All right. Let me just tell you, we had some inflation news last week, and a lot of the Fed presidents, in fact, one, Neil Kashkar from Minnesota, said we may not even get any rate cuts. So we were not sure that we believe him, and he's not a voting member. But there is a lot of news about a reflation and an increase in inflation. If you go back, Dan, and look at what happened in 73 and 74, there was an inflation spike, and then it calmed back down, and then it reignited back in 79 and 80. And so we're hoping that this is not just a warming up for some more inflation down the road. Gold prices have been going up, and that's generally been a leading indicator. So much for you and I to talk about when we get together. Yep. In a little bit, but there's no doubt that the Fed's going to have to watch this. And at the same time, Dan, fiscal policy continues to throw gasoline on the fire, including today when Biden's in Madison talking about some loan forgiveness for a lot of student loans out there that could put more income in the pockets, and that could, of course, be inflationary. So we'll talk about that in just a little bit.
Definitely tons to talk about, Dave. You are the consummate professional. Like, no matter what I throw at you in the form of some of these ridiculous sound bites, you handle it like a pro, sir. Looking forward to, definitely. You were off last week on vacation. Talking to you again on The Difference, our weekly podcast. Absolutely one of my favorite times of the week. We will be back with much, much more here on The Dan O'Donnell Show.
News that's factual, fair, and balanced. This is continuing coverage on News Talk 1130 WISN, Milwaukee.
Good morning, I'm Ted Allen. More body parts are found around the Milwaukee area over the weekend. Milwaukee police say a human body part was discovered Friday night, and unidentified human remains were located Saturday evening around a park at 31st and Walnut on Milwaukee's west side. That park is a block away from where a car fire happened last week. The latest discoveries come after police found a severed human leg in a Cudahy park last week. The case connected to that limb is being investigated as a homicide, with a person of interest taken into custody. Authorities aren't saying whether they believe the leg found in Cudahy is connected with the remains found this past weekend. Searchers who are looking for Elijah Vu are hoping for a huge turnout today. Volunteers are asking for 100 people to help look for the missing 3-year-old today in Manitowoc County. Vu has been missing since February 20th. His mother isn't saying where he could be. Authorities continue to search for Vu as well, but today's search is being organized by volunteers. Today's solar eclipse won't have a direct effect on cell phone service, but officials in the path of totality are expecting massive surges in traffic over data and cellular networks. That's because hundreds of thousands of people are expected to gather for the event, spiking phone usage in areas not often accustomed to a large influx in visitors. AT&T is assuring customers it'll be prepared for the eclipse. Checking the WISN Sports Scoreboard after taking a series from the Seattle Mariners over the weekend, the Brewers head to Cincinnati to start a 4-game series with the Reds tonight. From the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin News Center, I'm Ted Allen on Wisconsin's most listened to radio station, News Talk 1130 WISN.
This is Michael Lynch from the Lynch Truck Center. We've been working hard sourcing work trucks from all over the country. We currently have over 300 commercial work trucks in stock and ready for your choice of upfit. Our sales team is 100% dedicated to commercial trucks, which means our truck professionals can get you the right truck right now. Our new inventory of Chevrolet, GMC, Isuzu, Hino, not to mention our used inventory, combined with nearly 30 commercial financial lenders, ensures the lowest rates possible for you and the fastest buying experience. Our service center has over 20 dedicated truck bays running 2 shifts, a contact-free sales process, and delivery drivers ready to deliver your truck right to your door. We know your time is important, so we make sure our process is quick and hassle-free. Find your new truck today at lynchtruckcenter.com or stop into the Lynch Truck Center at Highway 36 in Waterford. We won't disappoint you.
Here's the latest forecast from the Fox 6 weather experts.
Partly to mostly sunny skies for our Monday. Should be good viewing conditions for the solar eclipse this afternoon. A very mild high near 66. Overnight tonight, 46 under partly cloudy skies, partly sunny, and 62 tomorrow. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Rob Haswell.
This report is sponsored by It's Just Lunch. And the forecast for your dating life is warm and sunny because you're about to join It's Just Lunch and meet other busy professionals like you. Call them at 414-224-9609 or visit itsjustlunchmilwaukee.com today. It's Just Lunch. Connection awaits with guaranteed dates.
This is a unique place, and there aren't many businesses around like us. We're locally owned, but we've been known to do business on a nationwide scale. We're a retail business, but we're also a distributor. We sell the finest windows and doors and install them all with Craftsman detail. But we also carry the widest selection of replacement parts you can find and are happy to give you valuable advice, so you actually don't have to buy new replacement windows or doors just yet. Like I said, we are different, and that's good. In fact, it's great for you, and it's been great for thousands of our customers who rely on us year in and year out for the best products and industry expertise you just can't find everywhere. This is David Wilhelm. For the highest quality replacement windows and doors and a massive selection of the parts you need to make them last, your clear choice for more is Lisbon Storm Screen and Door. Find us at lisbonstorm.com.
Your clear choice for more, Lisbon Storm Screen and Door.
I'm Brett Ochtenhagen, owner of Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services. I frequently speak with people who are unhappy with their landscaping and they're unsure how to turn things around. Well, here are 4 tasks that will make a remarkable improvement to dull landscaping. Number 1, thick, lush green grass. We need food and water to be healthy. Our lawn care programs and irrigation systems provide your grass with everything it needs to thrive. Number 2, pruning. Regular, technically correct pruning keeps plants strong and vibrant. Number 3, plant bed edging and a fresh layer of bark mulch. There's nothing better than the look of crisp bed edges and fresh mulch. Number 4, landscape lighting. You finally have your landscaping looking its best. A landscape lighting system lets your landscaping come alive after dark. So there you are, 4 landscaping tips that amplify the beauty of your home. Please call Seasonal Services at 262-392-3444 or look for us online at seasonalservices.com.
Fraudulent tax returns due to identity theft increased by 30% in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Their U.S.-based restoration specialists are dedicated to helping solve identity theft issues, and all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which means if you lose money because of identity theft, LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan. Help protect your information with LifeLock. Go to LifeLock.com and save up to 25% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code.
I'm Johnny B. Good, the host of the podcast Creating a Con, the story of Bitcoin. This podcast dives deep into the story of Ray Trapani and his company, Centratech. I'll explore how 3 20-somethings built a company out of lies, deceit, and greed.
I've been saying since a very young age that I was going to be a millionaire. If someone's like, oh, what's your best way of making money? I'm like, oh, we should start some sort of scheme.
Listen to Creating a Con, the story of Bitcoin on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Passionate about what's right. This is News Talk 1130 WISN.
Be sure to listen to the Annex Wealth Management Investment Show Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday afternoons at 1 on News Talk 1130 WISN. Annex provides its expertise to arm listeners with the knowledge and tools to invest wisely. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Committed to covering the important stories and issues that the rest of the media won't touch. This is Wisconsin's most listened to radio station. News Talk 1130 WISN.
Show, the only radio show in Wisconsin officially endorsed by President Trump.
Your show is a very important show, and it's a great show, and we appreciate it.
If you would like to join it, the AdventKnows.com talk and text line is 414-799-1130. You can also reach us toll-free, 1-800-838-9476. Email me, dod@iheartmedia.com. Follow the show or watch us streaming live on X, on Facebook, and on our YouTube channel. Like and subscribe, as the kids say. Here's a man after my own heart. Good morning, Dan. Fired up the motorhome this morning, 3 a.m., and headed to Indianapolis. I am now parked on the side of some gravel road, waiting for it to get dark. Mike from Pewaukee. Mike, you are living my dream, sir. I've always wanted to get a motorhome and just drive around the country. I don't know. Call it when I am. You know what I'm going to be? Do you remember the movie 2012? I'm going to be Clark Griswold. No. The movie 2012. Not a lot of people remember it. End of the world movie. I am obsessed, ask my wife, with end of the world movies. If there is not a monster or aliens or some sort of apocalyptic event, chances are it's going to be very difficult to get me to watch the show. Although I did just watch the first 2 episodes of a spectacular one. It's called A Gentleman in Moscow, based on the best-selling novel my mother-in-law and my wife basically were like, you have to watch this. It's right up your alley. Ewan McGregor stars as the Count in the years after the Russian Revolution, and he's sent to house arrest in this lavish hotel, and they put him in one of the servants' quarters to try to break his spirit. And the entire conceit of the book and the show is him continuing to fight back against the Soviet oppression in the rise of Stalin and the true horrors of the Soviet Union. Is incredibly well acted. It is insanely well done, although it falls victim to every historical epic that has been produced post 2020. Do you know what that is? Every single one. Nope. How many black people do you think were in Russia in 1918? 0? They're like 30% of the cast is black. And the guy who plays the Count's best friend is a wonderful actor. He's fantastic. But it takes you out of the story, right? There's a huge suspension of disbelief, like, oh, here's the one black dude in Russia, and he's a high-ranking member of the Communist Party? Okay, Showtime. But beyond that, and seriously, and do you know why this is? I was explaining this to my wife and mother and father-in-law. We're all watching this show, and my wife is like, it so takes you out of the show. Because if you're producing a prestige movie or a prestige picture, a TV show, something like that, there are new rules for, I know it's the Oscars, I'm sure the Emmys and the Golden Globes have them too, and this is a post St. George the Pious death phenomenon. You have to have a certain percentage of actors in your cast who are people of color, or you're not even considered for awards. It sounds insane, but it's true. This is why you'll have a movie about, medieval fiefdoms. And if it was produced after 2020, when these rules went into effect, I guarantee you that one of the leads is going to be black. Now, how many, African or Moorish or whomever traders were there that made their way up to the Scottish Highlands in the 1200s? Probably not a whole lot. And this is sort of it's an extension of the Google AI debacle, where you'd ask, hey, Google AI, draw me a picture of a king of England. And it'll be like, I had to do medieval king of England. It was 2 black guys and a woman. I'm like, there's a word for a female monarch, woke Google AI. It's called queen, not king. But in spite of that very minor gripe, A Gentleman in Moscow is a wonderful, wonderful show. So the votes are being tallied right now. Is it crazy to go to the path of totality? No is winning. It is not crazy. It is fun. In fact, we have got a number of you folks who are doing so right now. I applaud you. I'm telling you, I probably would we're moving. We're moving. So there's a whole lot of stuff. And I never finished who I would be in the Winnebago. The movie 2012. It's a terrible John Cusack disaster film. It's about the end of the world. Do you remember when the Mayan calendar ended on December 21st, 2012? And there were nuts who were saying the world was going to end. Well, they made an entire movie in like 2008, 2009 about that concept where the shifting, tectonic plates or whatever produced massive tsunamis and wiped out humanity. Well, there was a character who was supposed to be like an Art Bell type, and it was played by Woody Harrelson. And he's in a Winnebago driving to Yosemite for, there's the giant super volcano under Yellowstone National Park. It's a massive super volcano. And he wants to be there when it goes up. So he's driving his Winnebago and doing a radio show while screaming about the end of the world. I'm like, dude, that is totally going to be me when I'm in my 60s, when the kids are grown up. I'm going to be hosting this. My wife's going to be driving the Winnebago, and I'm totally going to be doing this radio show from like a Walmart parking lot. What's that honking noise? Oh, nothing. Some jackass in a Chevy Malibu just cut us off. But back to the topic at hand. So a couple of weeks ago, The Wall Street Journal published an alarming story about the rise of jihadism in Dearborn, Michigan, which it called the jihad capital of the United States. Now, for anyone who actually read the article, it was a sobering picture of the extremist beliefs of the heavily Muslim population of Dearborn. For liberals, it was an excuse to do a little good old-fashioned hair on fire screeching about just how racist the Wall Street Journal was for daring to publish this piece. Well, over the weekend, it was the end of Ramadan, and the good people of Dearborn, Michigan, held a rally. And they had some fine chants, like, you know, death to America.
Malcolm X said, and I quote, "We live in one of the rottenest countries that has ever existed on this earth."
You know, I know a guy who, if elected president in November, could help you relocate. Perhaps, I don't know. They seem to like Palestine a lot. Have you noticed this? Why don't we have a mass roundup? I'm not sure about this gentleman's immigration status, and we have a big trip over to the Palestinian territories. He didn't stop. He said, look, not only do we chant death to America, not only do we chant death to Israel, but Israel is the single biggest force for evil in the world. So the chant death to Israel is really the most logical chant that you could say.
It's not Genocide Joe that has to go. It's the entire system that has to go. Any system that would allow such atrocities and such devilry to happen and would support it, such a system does not deserve to exist on God's earth. And so when these fools ask us if Israel has the right to exist, the chant death to Israel has become the most logical chant shouted across the world today.
They were chanting death to Israel, in case that wasn't abundantly clear. After a little death to America, death to Israel. Now remember, when it was the Iranians who were chanting death to America, what did American liberals tell us? Well, that's just something they chant. It's sort of like, when in America, when we're at a presidential rally, we chant 4 more years, right? It's like death to America. It's just something to get them pumped up. Like, at a sporting event, defense, death to America. It's like, come on, what are you guys getting over? Now, they're chanting death to America in America. I've got like 196 other countries in the world that are perfectly fine. I would suggest, since we're quoting Khomeini and saying how Malcolm X was, so right about America being terrible, why don't we have a mass immigration to Iran? All expenses paid. Do you think if we did a GoFundMe to send each person at this rally to Iran, we would get any takers? I'm guessing we would. Other speakers said the standard, it is kind of amazing how we've got the standard now is Israel is the real Nazi party. Israel must die. Israel must be wiped off the face of the earth. And that's just sort of standard rhetoric from these psychopaths. Here's one of them.
Imam Khomeini recognized that Israel is an evil settler colonialist project. He realized it is a cancer, and he established this day. Israel, before this, brothers and sisters, was a sacred cow. Nobody could criticize Israel. Everybody was terrified of being anti-Semitic. Everybody was afraid of them. But now, the people of conscience very openly will criticize Israel. They recognize Israel for what it is. Israel is ISIS. They are Nazis. They are fascists. They are racist. The people of the world now know this.
Israel is ISIS, eh? So, they're getting little kids to chant from the river to the sea, Israel will be free. They're indoctrinating little kids just like ISIS does, strapping them up to some suicide vests. Oh, wait, no, we had the indoctrination of young children at this rally, too. I'm telling you, folks, it had everything.
Free, free Palestine! From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
That kid was like 3 years old. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Death to America. America is one of the most rotten places on earth. Khomeini had it right. Israel is a bunch of ISIS. We need to wipe Israel off the map. Death to Israel is the only thing that makes sense. Hey, Joe Biden, best of luck getting that constituency back home for you. I'm telling you, smartest thing Republican Party could do right now. Get an openly jihadist dude to run for president in Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, all of the key swing states, just to see what happens. Get this guy. Death to Israel is the only thing that makes sense. Get him on the presidential ballot. Come on, crazy Islamist jihadist. You know you want to take over this country. Open competition, by the way, for who is crazier, the speakers here or actress Jennifer Lewis, our unhinged liberal of the day.
As soon as he takes the oath, he will have generals walk down the steps of the Capitol. He will take a hammer and break the glass where the Constitution is, and he will tear it up in our faces. And say, now, I'm the king of the fucking world. You will bow down, bitches. He will punish everybody that didn't vote for him. Let me tell y'all how I know this shit. I know it because I know what mental illness looks like.
Okay, folks, we have not updated the Unhinged Liberal of the Day theme song in quite some time. I think adding Jennifer Lewis screaming, I know what mental illness looks like, has to be added. I think it needs to be done. I'm heading to an editing studio later today.
That mania is unstoppable. See, this motherfucker's Hitler.
And the host, yes,
He didn't come to play.
Oh, that clip is single-handedly giving me life on this Monday morning. You are listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show. Stay tuned. There's more conservative thought, not just talk, after this.
Hot summer night. Lightning strike. Down goes the tree, right through their bedroom wall, nearly ruining a walnut headboard, which is pretty hard wood. Fortunately, the customers were okay. But the headboard? That wasn't. Until they called us. We made that Victorian headboard better than new. So if you're looking for the finest in furniture finishing, repair, and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. We're no job's too small. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. Well, if you haven't heard me bragging by now, we're darn good. Actually, my dad has no qualms about saying we're the best. And if you're skeptical, I understand. But all you have to do is go to MullallyFinishing.com to learn why we're great at what we do and see lots of before and after photos that show off our impressive work. So if you're looking for a name you can trust, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com.
Metro Milwaukee Homebuyer can give you a cash offer for your home in just 5 minutes, no matter its condition, because selling your home should not be complicated. Visit MetroMilwaukeeHomebuyer.com, pick your closing date, and the rest is simple. That's MetroMilwaukeeHomebuyer.com.
Every dollar you give to the Wisconsin Humane Society will be matched by generous donors up to $65,000. Right now, the shelters are bursting at the seams with animals who desperately need your help. Visit wihumane.org/springmatch now.
It's no longer a question of if something is coming.
it's when. The only shock will be the what. Your gut, the feeling you've had that something ominous is on the way. It's likely true. But what are you going to do about it now while you still have some control? Your first step is going to mypatriotsupply.com. After that, your next step is stocking up on multiple one-week emergency food supplies. Priced at under $50 each, there's no better time to buy in bulk. My Patriot Supply is equipped to help you prepare. As the original Patriot Company, we've helped over 2 million families ready themselves. These one-week kits with ready-hour foods provide over 2,000 calories every day. Plus, they're sealed inside a rugged ammo can, so they last up to 25 years in storage. Just grab it and go when a crisis hits. Get these kits for under $50 this week only at mypatriotsupply.com. mypatriotsupply.com.
I'm Johnny B. Good, the host of the podcast Creating a Con, the story of Bitcoin. This podcast dives deep into the story of Ray Trapani and his company, Centratech. I'll explore how three 20-somethings built a company out of lies, deceit, and greed.
I've been saying since a very young age that I was going to be a millionaire. If someone's like, oh, what's your best way of making money? I'm like, oh, we should start some sort of scheme.
Listen to Creating a Con, the story of Bitcoin on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. And I say, it's alright.
You knew this one was going to be in there. Keep it up, Dave. The Eclipse bumper music rotation, featuring none other than the Beatles, and Here Comes the Sun. Welcome back to the Dan O'Donnell Show. It's conservative thought, not just talk, on this Eclipse Day. I love, one of my favorite parts of the local coverage of the eclipse is the safety tips. Don't look directly at the sun. Don't make your own glasses. Don't point your camera directly at the sun. Sadly, I think this is needed. By the way, if you're watching on the Dano Cam, I have got my Eclipse glasses on right now. Yeah, I got these from Perry the Realtor, who is a great friend of the show. He dropped them off. I see him actually at the gym pretty regularly. Wonderful guy. And he dropped off a whole bunch of Eclipse glasses and Eclipse viewers. Now, I think as we got an email from the school that at least my middle schooler, they're by coincidence studying eclipses right now in science class. So pretty much the entire middle school is going, I mean, the lesson is set by the state, right? They planned the lesson. Okay, fine. It is a little too coincidental, but I think it's cool. I think the schools have got a lot of, there's one listener is in West Lafayette, Indiana, and he said Purdue has canceled classes today, that pretty much every school kid is out so that they can watch the eclipse. And by the way, if it's been 7 years since you put on a pair of Eclipse glasses, you cannot see a damn thing through these. It is like blind. I can't even see the microphone right now. So I think I'm waving at the people now watching on the Dano Cam, but I'm not entirely sure. These things are dark. So pretty much all you'll be able to see as you're staring into the sky is the black hole sun. 2:07 p.m., I believe, is when we're 2:07, 2:08 p.m. local time is when we're going to get the best view of this eclipse. And what's great, oh, look at this. Their Fox News has exactly what I was going to talk about next. The cloud cover. Cloud cover, in fact, is probably the best here in Wisconsin than in every part of the path of totality. I mean, we have got blue skies. You're going to see this thing like nobody's business. Now, of course, it's not going to be a total eclipse, but hey, 95% is about as solid as you can get. And the people have spoken. Dave, I believe we are at probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 70%. Say if they could do it, they would go to the path of totality, take a day off, turn it into a little trip, learn about solar eclipses, learn about this sort of stuff. It's a once in a several decade thing. I say you got to do it. I would totally do it if I didn't have home selling stuff to do, if I didn't have a second radio show this afternoon. By the way, Dave, how'd you like to do a second radio show? Can I get to West Lafayette, Indiana in 3 hours? Not with Chicago traffic, and it's probably going to be even worse traffic with everybody in the world trying to get there. Dave, you were just there. You did the Great American Road Trip. You did the Great American Road Trip last week. Oh, yeah, if you're retired, for sure. And yes, this is absolutely driving distance. Oh, come on. Muskego, I just got a text. Muskego's elementary schools are keeping the kids indoors from 12 to 3 so they don't look at the sun. Talk about a missed opportunity. Yeah. I could see the president of the United States in 2017 was looking directly at that damn sun. I'm taking a wild guess your average 7-year-old is going to do it. I can see where they're coming from. You don't see where they're coming from. Well, okay, but no. Dave's like, oh, no, this is liability, Dave. This is 100%. The school district's attorneys and the insurance companies were saying, no, you're not going to have those kids outside. Canceling a full day of school for a 15-minute event, this texter says, I, again, vote crazy. A lot of the kids in Kenosha are also being kept inside unless they're in a science class. You know, I wonder, shoot me a text if you could, if your kids or grandkids or something like that, if they're being kept inside. I suspect a lot of kids are. And I don't know how much these Eclipse glasses cost. I haven't been on Amazon. I got a bunch of them dropped off. It does look like it. No, you know what it looks like? Dave says it looks like a Happy Meal toy. It actually looks like it's 3D glasses, only you can't see a thing out of them. All right. To see what I can see. Okay, during the commercial break, I'm going to do exactly what you're not supposed to do and stare at the sun with the Eclipse glasses and tell you how it looks. Dan O'Donnell Show, coming back. Classical conservatism, contemporary style. Dan O'Donnell here for my great friends at Mander Collision and Glass, now with 6 locations to serve you. You hear me talking often about Mander's customer service. Well, here's one of their customers, Haley, who writes, I had a small chip in my windshield. I called and came in right away to see if it could be fixed. Mander had a glass technician in the building that day, and within 20 minutes of arriving, my chip was filled. Very friendly staff and great customer service. My husband and I have used Mander for a few needs with our vehicles, and we will continue to go to them. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Haley. Your loyalty is a reflection of Mander's extreme dedication to customer service. They'll go the extra mile as a matter of policy, and that is why I tell so many people to go to Mander. Now with 6 locations to serve you, Mander truly is your best decision after a collision or for windshield repair.
For more information about contests on News Talk 1130 WISN, go to newstalk1130.com/rules.
Hey, NBA fans, listen up. You have got to try Pick 6, the newest real money fantasy app from DraftKings, an official partner of the NBA. Getting started is simple. Select if a player will have more or less of a stat. If he'll have more or less than 1 rebound, more or less than 3.5 assists. I love DraftKings Pick 6. It is a whole lot of fun, and I want you to pick your favorite players and compete for huge cash prizes. I'm telling you, you folks, it is as easy as possibly can be. Download the new DraftKings Pick 6 app now and get started with code WISN. New customers can get up to $200 back in Pick 6 credits if your first pick set loses. Only on Pick 6 from DraftKings with code WISN. The crown is yours. One offer per new customer. First qualifying pick set winnings less entry fees must generate negative number. Max reward up to $200 equal to amount of negative number. Issued in non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits valid for Pick 6 use only. Expire after 180 days. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 18 plus in most eligible states. Age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. Pick 6 not available in all states. For up-to-date list of states, visit dkng.co/pick6states. Void where prohibited. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Signs, garden and home gets your springtime blooming.
A healthy lawn starts with the Steins brand, specifically blended for Wisconsin lawns. The Steins 4-step program is now at the lowest price of the season. It includes crabgrass preventer, weed control, lawn food, and winterizer. Cover a 5,000 square foot lawn now only $59.99.
Steins, garden and home.
Hey, want to know what your home is really worth in today's marketplace in less than 60 seconds from a real estate professional who truly knows the demand in your market and is selling homes every single day? Hey, your friend Sean Hannity here. And as an active investor in real estate and a homeowner myself, I rely heavily on smart local agents who personally live in the market and sell a high volume of homes so they can give me a truly accurate gauge on what homes will sell for right now. I'm talking about Justin Hoffman of Remax Realty Pros. He has a home selling system that truly is on a whole different level. Now, his superior marketing in many cases sells homes at or over asking price. Now, sell your home for the most money. Just go to the website and click on What's My Home Worth? And you will immediately see the minimum your home can sell for in seconds. Just Google Team Hoffman and check out over 700 5-star reviews.
Make your weekday evening memorable at the Ambassador Hotel. Join us in the Gin Ricky Lounge and indulge in the finest happy hour. Every Sunday through Thursday from 4 to 7 p.m. Enjoy half off all appetizers or buy one get one at 1928's price Gin Ricky's. Elevate your evening at Milwaukee's Landmark Hotel, where every sip, every bite, and every moment is crafted to perfection. View our menu and specials on Facebook or online at thefitzmke.com. The Ambassador Hotel, where every day brings a new reason to raise your glass and savor the moment.
Dan O'Donnell here for CertaPro Painters, which knows how important your home is to you. That's why they're focused on helping to bring a fresh color to your home. You can trust CertaPro Painters to get the job done right, as I did with my home. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in the state. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, pro.com. When choosing painting professionals, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
SemperFiRoofing.com.
I'm Johnny B. Good, the host of the podcast Creating a Con, the story of Bitcoin. This podcast dives deep into the story of Ray Trapani and his company, CentraTech. I'll explore how three 20-somethings built a company out of lies, deceit, and greed.
I've been saying since a very young age that I was going to be a millionaire. If someone's like, oh, what's your best way of making money? I'm like, oh, we should start some sort of scheme.
Listen to Creating a Con, the story of Bitcoin, on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
A place where freedom of speech and freedom of thought live on. Stay informed all day, every day on News Talk 1130 WISN.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and she's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away.
Bill Withers, Ain't No Sunshine.
Wonder this time where she's gone.
It is our Eclipse bumper music rotation here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. For those wondering, yes, we have got a whole lot more in the can and ready to go. I am filling in for Mark Belling again all week long on News Talk 1130 WISN. We will have Eclipse bumper music there as well. It seems most elementary schools, most schools, period, are keeping their kids inside between 12 and 3. There are some in Wauwatosa that are apparently handing out eclipse glasses and having the kids go outside. I would assume that the overwhelming majority of schools are going to be inside. Recess schedules are adjusted, that sort of thing. Look, I know kids. I know how tempting it is to look at the sun, when you can look at the sun and everybody's telling you this is just like the ultimate kid thing to do. Don't look at the sun. It's going to permanently damage your eyes. What does the kid do? Look directly at the sun to see if it's actually going to damage their eyes. You know who else did it? Trump. 2017, what was it, August 21st, total eclipse. He's out on the White House steps. One of my favorite pictures of the presidency, him squinting while looking up and pointing at the sun. Oh, I love that guy. Endless entertainment with former President Donald Trump. Brand new video up. We produce videos on a whole wide variety of topics for the McIver Institute on all manner of topics. And it's actually a whole lot of fun to do. Well, our brand new video is up right now on the McIver Institute's Facebook page. I have also got it shared, facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show, about all of the damage that fatherlessness does to American society. It's critically important, in fact. Would you believe, speaking of kids, 1 in 4 now live in a single-parent home, specifically without a biological father, an adopted father, or a stepfather in their house. That is by far the highest percentage in the developed world. It's not even close. Kids in 2-parent homes do far better financially. Just 9.5% of kids with a father in the home live in poverty. That's compared with 46% of kids who live in a fatherless home who live in poverty. In fact, fatherlessness is quite possibly, and in fact, I think it is the single biggest driver of poverty. Single biggest predictor of poverty in the United States, accounting for every other variable, is single parenthood. Single motherhood specifically, because typically it's mom who stays home, raise the kids, especially when single parenthood is far more likely to occur when the parents are much younger, teenage parents, early 20s. They're not making nearly as much money. Maybe they don't have a job. If they're a teenager, haven't finished school yet. Kids without a father in the home, they're 45% more likely to have to repeat a grade in school. They're 60% more likely to be suspended or expelled. And they're 75% more likely to become a teenage parent. 71% of kids who drop out of high school are from single-parent homes. 90% of homeless kids, runaway kids, from fatherless homes. 85% of children who have been diagnosed with emotional or behavioral disorders, fatherless homes. And tragically, 63% of the kids who die by suicide come from fatherless homes. That is my latest video, the alarming statistics about fatherlessness in the United States. Share it. It is up on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show. I'll post it on X later on today. It is a topic, as a father, that is obviously very near and dear to my heart, but I think a lot of societal problems, a lot of the breakdown in society from the 1960s on has been directly attributable to sexual irresponsibility, the rise of drug culture, the decline of shame, frankly, the decline of the ability of society to say, no, this is a behavior, this is a lifestyle that is unacceptable, and the just utter lack of consequences for societally deviant or even criminal behavior has fueled all of this. And when you think about it, when you've got the mom and the dad in a stable home environment that's loving, that's nurturing, no matter what a mom does, and we see this in our family. We've got 2 teenagers in the house. They're very, very well-behaved boys. They're very good kids, okay? They're very good kids. But like any kid, you know, they talk back and they don't want to pick up stuff. Dave's nodding his head. Dave says he spent a week in a car with his 2 little ones. Wait till they become teenagers. Or wait, and you're probably aware of your daughter. She's what, 10? Yeah, mine's 9 going on about 16 and a half. Just bossing around. Oh, she rules the roost. But the boys, especially, you know, they won't want to pick up or something. And my wife will immediately be like, Dan, can you talk to them? And obviously, I'm a little more, shall we say, heavy-handed. It's the nature of parenthood, right? Good cop, bad cop. It's just sort of normal. It's natural, right? When you don't have that, and you look at a kid, a boy who's truly spiraling out of control with criminal behavior, with, you know, drug use, with alcohol use, all of that, when you don't have a healthy fear of the Lord in the form of your father. And also, you know, life doesn't come with an instruction manual. The best thing you've got as a young man is a tour guide that's your father. And while other role models can fill that role, you know, a grandpa, an uncle, a coach, a teacher, a guidance counselor, whomever it is, there just isn't that same level of connection, I think, than there is with a father, whether it be adopted, stepfather, biological, who's there, who's in the house, providing guidance, providing discipline, and sort of providing that roadmap for life that a young man, especially, young girls too, just absolutely need. I mean, you get to some of the risky behaviors, young females. I mean, my goodness, OnlyFans is littered with young women who the percentage of girls on OnlyFans, Dave, who didn't have fathers in the homes. I'm going to go 90%. 90% minimum. Okay? Like, I hope I don't need to explain what OnlyFans is. It's basically a way, you know, it's like we run those commercials sometimes where it's like, your kid can star in a Disney show. Go to this audition. Well, OnlyFans is like, you too, your 21-year-old can star in her own pornos. It's like a subscription-based porn service that got big over. And I am telling you, every risky behavior, and science has studied this just extensively over the decades. And you can see, I mean, you see the massive spike in drug addiction, the massive spike in mental illness, the massive spike in crime, the massive spike in sexual irresponsibility. It all happened at around the same time that the divorce rate went up. And I'm not saying, please, folks, I understand 50% of American marriages end in divorce. And I know there are tons of my parents are divorced. I think I turned out okay, right? Right? I've only committed like very minor crimes, I think. I've committed thought crimes according to the regime, but I'm saying so long as the father is in the life, so long as there is that presence, like divorce happens, it's something, relationships don't work out, right? You know, as long as there is that role model in a child's life that's getting the loving, nurturing, and you know, I'm a firm believer that, look, you know, there are specific gender roles. I'm not talking about, you know, only men can do this and a woman's job is in the kitchen, but throughout the human history, it was the role of the woman in the family to nurture the children, to raise the children, and it was the man to go out and provide. It's how we're built, for goodness sakes, okay? Like, it's reflected in the size and shape and function of our bodies. And man and woman have always been, it is in our very nature to be together, to form a family unit. That's why there was some article I wanted to talk about last week, and time just got away from me, where it might have been Semaphore, one of these news sites. It was, the American family, or the traditional family, is dead. Good riddance. I'm like, nope, totally wrong takeaway from that. It's the decline of the traditional American family is one of the worst things I think that's ever happened to this country, or one of the worst things that ever possibly could happen to this country. It is the Dan O'Donnell Show. More of it coming up next. Stay tuned.
Attend Biz Expo May 22nd at Brookfield Conference Center. Learn how to build a legendary brand by creating raving fans from keynote speaker and author Scott Wozniak. Attend strategy seminars on company culture, business growth, AI and cybersecurity, leadership, exit planning, tax savings for business, and more. Network and connect with your peers and the region's leading product and service providers. Biz Expo is Wednesday, May 22nd. Register to attend at biztimes.com/bizexpo.
With Carrier's innovation and D&M's expertise, check out our top-selling system, Carrier's Hybrid Crossover, a performance 2-speed high-efficient furnace, a slim outdoor heat pump paired with a smart Ecobee control, lower cost of utilities, excellent comfort, low noise, top rebates, and big tax credits, and financing. All boxes checked off. It has never been a better time to buy. Turn to the experts, Carrier and D&M.
D&M at your service.
Call 281-5350 or visit us at dmheating.com.
April is here, and if your windows won't open for fresh air or seal tight to keep out pollen and bugs, then talk Window Nation. Right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 free. Now that's a deal. And I love a deal. Plus, you could save even more money with no interest or payments for 24 months. With proven quality, you'll get affordable windows that meet or beat the national brands. Don't miss out. Call 866-90Nation or visit windownation.com to schedule your free in-home estimate.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. And as a community bank, we sincerely appreciate our customer loyalty. Over nearly 90 years, we've done all we can to return the favor. Great Midwest Bank offers flexible solutions that bigger banks and credit unions simply can't, because our entire team is right here in the community. We love helping our neighbors when we're at work and then catching up over the weekend. Visit us at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Want to make your yard the envy of the neighborhood? Tune in to Brett Ochtenhagen's Seasonal Services Designer Yard Show to learn landscaping secrets. Visit seasonalservices.com and listen on News Talk 1130 WISN, Saturdays at 1 p.m.
Think about your favorite t-shirt, hat, maybe a pair of shoes that, well, let's be honest, probably don't fit as well as they once did. I'm Dave Michaels. For me, it's my Happy Hour Summerfest t-shirt that I think was red originally, and now it's kind of like a pinkish color. It's a little old. My wife, Angela, has a new favorite pair of jeans because, well, they are new. Why is this a big deal?
They're my favorite pair now because I got to order them in the next size down. And, I've already dropped a couple sizes, but I wasn't sure I was going to get to this next one, and I did it, and I got to order a new pair of jeans.
Is that why Amazon keeps showing up at our front door?
I plead the fifth.
But when you're losing weight like you have, Angela, which is now over 30 pounds working with Milwaukee Weight Loss, it's these little kind of wins that really keep you motivated to keep going, losing more weight.
Oh, for sure. There's nothing better than knowing that you dropped a jean size. That's what we wear almost all the time. So dropping a size in jeans feels like a huge victory.
You can schedule your free consultation, 262-433-4007, or visit online to learn more at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Jay Weber here. If you're someone who's experiencing shoulders, spine,
spine, hip, knee, or musculoskeletal pain, and a total joint replacement might be in your future, think Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Find them at orthowisconsin.com. At Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, their physicians are committed to providing the highest quality of joint care and specialize in same-day total joint replacements at their own ambulatory surgery center in Pewaukee. You can find them at orthowisconsin.com. orthowisconsin.com. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you still on the fence about owning gold? It's time to pull the trigger with the Oxford Gold Group and buy gold and silver. Nobody can predict the future, but we can't put our head in the sand either. The Oxford Gold Group are the pros. They make owning gold and silver simple and easy to understand. Call Oxford Gold Group right now and you may qualify for up to $10,000 in free precious metals. Call 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Believing what he says and saying what he believes. There's only one Mark Belling. Mark Belling on News Talk 1130. WISN.
Show with our special eclipse-themed bumper music rotation, which we will be continuing for this afternoon's Mark Belling Late Afternoon Show. I'm in for Mark for the next 3 weeks, and then he is back first week of May permanently. He will be doing his show Monday through Thursday each and every week, we think, until January, when we think we do it all again. I don't know. Everything, it's up in the air. I'm always on standby. I was on my way up to the Trump rally in Green Bay last week on Tuesday. And our boss, Jerry, texts and he goes, hey, is there any chance that you'd be able to fill in for Mark this afternoon? He's got a bad case of laryngitis. Oh, you didn't hear about this. Oh, Mark caught something on the way back from Florida on the plane. And his voice was just so bad on Tuesday, he apparently couldn't speak above a whisper. Like, he wasn't sick, but obviously in our business, got to have a voice. Kind of the one job requirement that we have is you have to be able to talk. And Jerry texted, he's like, hey, could you fill in for Mark? And before I could even say, no, I'm on my way up to he goes, no, you know what? That's really unfair to you. You filled in for all these months. I can do it. And I texted back and I said, hey, I would totally, any other day I would do it, but I'm going to meet a friend of ours. And you know what I forgot to post? I finally got the official picture that the Trump people took of the event. Not the one I posted on X or Facebook. That was just one that the Secret Service took. It's actually really interesting. No, I'm dead serious. You have to hand your phone to a Secret Service agent. Everything needs to be out of your pockets. When you go into the secure, curtain area where the president is, and I can only imagine this is increased tenfold for current presidents, the security. They say, you do not take a picture with the president. You hand your phone. Your phone is to be on camera already. You hand it to a Secret Service agent. There is nothing in your pockets. You do not put your hands in your pockets. You do not make any sudden moves with your hands. When you go to, shake hands with the president, you keep your other hand, you don't go super fast, like you're jabbing out your hand at him, obviously. And it's like, they got the K-9 sitting right there. They got a bunch of dudes with guns. They're friendly as can be. I mean, it's great, but no. No, they know everybody wants a picture on their own phone, and then they've got the big camera that you're looking at. So if you look at the picture I've got on X, we're all sort of looking kind of off camera, and that's because we were looking at the official picture that they took. So, big sports news over the weekend. Caitlin Clark couldn't quite get it done. You don't like Caitlin Clark, do you, in there? You've got no problem with her. She is fantastic. Best thing that's ever happened to women's college basketball. Couldn't get it done. South Carolina, tip your cap to them. Holy cow. Were they the best team in college basketball easily, I think, over the last 2 years. Do you realize the only game they lost in 2 years was to Caitlin Clark in Iowa in last year's Final Four in what was a really big upset and sort of cemented Caitlin Clark as the face of women's college basketball? Well, she played her final game, lost to South Carolina. I'm telling you, this young lady is going to make serious bank. They're saying, oh, well, she could get $5 million to play in the Big Three. Are you joking me? She's going to get a $100 million contract from Nike. And if you think I'm joking about that, do you know how many women's basketball shoes Nike can sell with Caitlin Clark as its spokesperson? Also, one of the biggest surprises, I think, in recent college basketball history is the national championship between UConn and Purdue is tonight. John Calipari, the longtime coach of Kentucky, abruptly quit. He's going to Arkansas, another SEC school, which if I know college sports, Kentucky is about to face massive sanctions. Just like I know Michigan football about to face massive sanctions. How do I know that? Because their head coach, what's his name? Jim Harbaugh, fled for the NFL. They always get out right when the getting is good. And now the question is, who is Kentucky going to sign? Is it going to be Rick Pitino? Is it going to be the guy who coaches Alabama? We'll find out. We'll probably discuss in greater detail on the Mark Belling Show this afternoon. Talk to you then. Enjoy the eclipse, everybody.